last night we lost Alexia. To a drunk driver, guys.
I'm sure a lot of you are really confused as to what's going on right now between me and Jay and the videos that he posted about me being hit by a drunk driver in a car accident. And honestly, I don't even really know how to start this conversation because I don't even exactly know what's going on right now.
Now, there are a lot of people on YouTube who claim to have seen supernatural activity. And if you've watched my channel or watched my stuff, like, you'll know that I don't believe in this stuff and I get quite annoyed by these videos. I also, would argue that a lot of these videos are easy to fake. But the problem is, there's a lot of people out there that are quite convinced that there's ghosts and demons. And that's fair enough. There's nothing necessarily wrong if you want to believe in that. But they're getting exploited by these fake supernatural YouTuber videos. Problem with it is that these YouTubers make the videos to generate a lot of views. And then, to generate more views, they're going to generate more money. So they'll keep repeatedly making these videos. And the thing about a lot of these videos that are made is, a quick Google search will pretty much disprove most of these videos. And if you just use a bit of common sense and logic, it's pretty obvious that they're fake. But there's one YouTuber in particular I want to talk about today who was infamous for these kind of videos to an insulting degree, because to me, all the videos he made were so poorly made and scripted and clearly fake. But a lot of people seem to believe it. I almost thought they were parodies, to be honest, but he was dead serious in them. And it would lead to his, effective ban on YouTube, and he also would be arrested as well at certain points during his time on YouTube. And this is a man by the name of Jason Eder, who had a channel by the name of Jaystation. Now, he was born in Canada, and his YouTube career began in 2015, which included him breaking and entering into empty homes, into stadiums, office buildings late at night. And this was at a time in 2015, 2016 where clickbait was quite an issue. There was a lot of social experiment videos, prank videos, all these you won't believe what happened, this totally went wrong, and just over the top thumbnails that it was probably YouTube at its worst, if I'm being honest. And Jaystation was no different with his videos. But Jason's infamy kind of grew and his popularity grew on YouTube when he started making what was known as his 3 a.m. videos. Now, the reason why they were 3 a.m. videos was because 3 a.m. is believed to be the witching hour when apparent demons and ghosts and things would appear. So he would make these videos claiming that he was seeing things and things were happening at 3 a.m. and it kind of became the backbone of his videos.
Stop, please. Oh my god, I don't know if you can hear that. There's freaking demonic voices coming from my freaking head. Please let me out of here. Let me out of here.
One of the first ones I came across, which I found both hilarious and insulting at the same time, was the one where he FaceTimed with Jesus. Now, I suppose you could argue, if Jesus is around, why wouldn't he use FaceTime? He'd keep up to date with the technology and all, but the funny thing about it is, it's so insultingly bad and clearly fake. There's a part where Jesus turns, this glass of water into wine, but the camera kind of pans away from the glass.
Aiko, it turned to wine. What the hell? Yo.
When did that happen?
No, Jesus, thank you, my Lord.
So we don't actually see it happen, which is, amazing how Jesus was able to do that through the phone. And it isn't any really basic, simple editing that, caused that to happen. And for some reason, the phone number they use is 10 sevens. The other funny thing as well about this video is Jesus is a white dude, which, isn't actually accurate. Jesus wasn't white. And he also still had the blood on his wrists, and he was still wearing the thorns on his head. It's why would Jesus still be wearing the crown of thorns? Surely if he's in heaven and he's chilling with God, or he is God as well, or whatever the hell it is, surely he wouldn't be wearing the fucking crown. And the other funny thing is that Jay has this bandage on and he takes it off and Jesus heals him, and there's this little tiny speck of fake blood. It's just so poorly made. It's so clearly fake, but you would think it was a parody, but he is dead serious in it, and it's actually insulting the intelligence of his audience. And it's also actually I'm not a religious person clearly, but it's also kind of insulting to me that he would even do this. These kind of videos work so well for him that at his peak he had 6 million subscribers, which is crazy to think for me personally. And over the years I've seen a lot of people claim to be Jesus, but that has to be the worst I've ever seen in my life. Now, if that's not bad enough, in team with the 3 a.m. videos, he would also claim to talk to the spirits of dead celebrities on the phone or through a Luigi board. And again, it was always at 3 a.m. But weirdly enough as well, it was always a couple of days after these celebrities died, which was you know, logically you can understand why he did that, because those celebrities would be trending. So if he makes a video about them, he's going to get more engagement. So he's exploiting these deaths for views. And some honorable mentions he did, like Mac Miller, where he did one called Talking to Mac Miller. He did one about Etika, who was a YouTuber, and he called it Talking to the Spirit of Etika at 3 a.m. in brackets Gone Wrong, which is quite a popular title in a thumbnail at this time. And he was notorious for like putting Gone Wrong. And he also did one about Juice WRLD as well. Besides the fact that he's clearly using the deaths of these celebrities for views, which is quite disgusting, especially to the family and to the fans of these guys, you know, exploiting these tragedies just for his own gain. Now, as you can imagine as well, like, these fans of these celebrities were not happy with Jay for doing this, and many people would report him on YouTube for it. And he would also use these over sensationalized thumbnails and headings, which are just super gross and disrespectful. Now, Jay would eventually apologize for these videos, and for me personally, I think the ethical one in particular is the most disgusting and vile, because besides the fact he was a fellow YouTuber, he was also someone that ended his own life. And I think it's just a complete dickhead move on Jay's part to even think it was okay to exploit someone like that. Like, if you're a family member of Etika and you're seeing this guy pretending to talk to your dead family member, like, to say you'd be pissed off is a huge understatement. Now, he also kind of went through a period as well where he was like trying to connect with children, where he would make these videos where he claimed he was talking to like Mickey Mouse and SpongeBob and Santa Claus, which is, to me, is quite weird, because like he's obviously trying to expand his audience, but the fact that he's also doing this darker content, it's weird that he would even want to have children in the audience. But he was so obsessed with getting clout and views, he really didn't care. He would also branch out and do like dark web videos, which was still kind of like interwoven with the 3 a.m. style, where he would make videos like, I bought a human from the dark web at 3 a.m. or ordering a demon baby from the dark web at 3 a.m. One very notable one was that he bought a van from the dark web, allegedly, and he went into the van in the video, and there's a person like trapped inside the van, like, and again, like, clearly fake, clearly poorly scripted, and it's kind of shot in like this vlog horror style. Like, it's insulting again, and he was genuinely being dead serious. It was so difficult for me to find any evidence that it was satire. Like, I was convinced that had to be like a parody. But another disgusting thing that he did, which would kind of lead to his downfall on YouTube, was he faked the death of his then girlfriend, Alexia Morano, who he claimed died in a drink driving accident.
Last night we lost Alexia. To a drunk driver, guys.
Some of his videos are titled like, My Girlfriend Died, Rest in Peace, and calling my girlfriend at 3 a.m, which, you know, shocking, I know. But in reality, of course, like, she was not dead, and he literally faked her death to gain more views and subscribers and clout. And the problem with what he did was, it was very easy to disprove what he said. Like, there was no autopsy reports, no statements by police, by family, nothing on the news about it. So he was very, very quickly exposed. So I don't really understand what he was trying to achieve here. He also went out of his way and created a memorial site which featured printed photos of his apparent dead girlfriend that were clearly printed by Jay himself, and it didn't have any flowers or anything. Like, it was really weird. And Alexia would come out eventually with her own video, and she would explain that clearly she was not dead, but she also made these accusations against Jay.
I felt like he wanted to take away more and more and more away from me. At this point, I felt really controlled by him, and I felt like he was trying to isolate me from my friends, from my family, and I just felt really isolated and alone.
And that he forced her to take part in these videos, and when she tried to leave, he allegedly assaulted her and destroyed her phone and threatened her. And she was quoted as saying,
It was super uncomfortable. I did not think it was okay, especially since lots of you guys are younger. I did not want to play with people's emotions like that at all, especially with something as serious as death, especially that my dad is so sick right now. I never wanted these videos to go out in the first place.
In response to the criticism, Jay would upload a video titled Goodbye, and he also kind of tried to play victim, claiming that YouTube was after him and he was being cancelled for no reason. And unfortunately for him, it didn't work. He was arrested for the accusations in February 2020 and charged with both assault and assault with a weapon, following the allegations from Alexia Morano by Toronto police. In response to this, he was hit where it hurt him the most, his YouTube accounts. YouTube would demonetize all his channels because of the policies they have concerning criminal behaviour, which took effect roughly a week after his arrest. Now, I actually couldn't find any record of the results of these charges, so They could have been dropped or settled out of court. He might even went to court over it. He didn't do any jail time. There's no evidence that he was actually criminally prosecuted for these charges. And also, like, a couple of months after this, like, Alexia and Jay would upload a video together on their joint YouTube channel, Dream Team, where they claimed they're friends now and they're going to continue to make more content together. But that dream wouldn't last for long. The controversial YouTuber that is Jaystation and his channel that had at that time 6.2 million subscribers was terminated for terms of service violation. His second channel, which he called 666, which had about 1 million subscribers, was also taken off the site, and he was no longer able to create YouTube channels as it would constitute ban evasion and cause his newer channel to be taken down. 666 was like a gamer commentary video, which was at that time was still quite popular on YouTube. Despite the fact he was trying to shift away from the supernatural fake stuff, YouTube just wasn't having it, and he got what he deserved. And at the end of the day, he broke the rules. Like, there's nothing he can say at this point. Like, if you're a YouTuber and you agree to certain policies and things like that, and if you're criminally charged and you're, you know, creating sensationalist content that is exploiting, you know, people that have died and people's grief, and then you're also targeting younger people, YouTube isn't going to tolerate that. So playing the victim and acting like everyone was out to get him is actually insane, but quite a common approach that a lot of these YouTubers make when they're being cancelled. Now, Jay is a textbook example of someone willing to cross any line for shock, ego, greed, all just for clout. He manipulated his audience, hurt the people closest to him, and in the end, he is as irrelevant as he deserves and a great guide on what not to do on YouTube. The thing that amazed me about this dude was, like, he seemed to think a lot of people would believe his lies. And I suppose, like, because he was getting so much attention on these fake supernatural videos, you could understand that he thought he could just keep lying and manipulating his way out of any situation and just keep growing his channel. But unfortunately, that would not be the case for him. Now, apparently he appears on the odd live stream and stuff. He hasn't had any real presence on YouTube since 2020, thankfully. At the end of the day, he manipulated grief for views. But that's it, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Please like, share and subscribe as always if you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Do you believe in the supernatural stuff? Do you think I'm being harsh, or do you think he got what he deserved at the end of the day? And don't get me wrong, like, I think a lot of content creators do lie in their videos. There's a certain line that you shouldn't cross, and I think manipulating people's grief is vile and disgusting. But let me know anyway what you think in the comments down below as always. But that's it, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Peace.